so it's coming along. I'm gonna now position the front camera and the rear camera that are here, and also the dash camera, because these three things are gonna be connected to the main head unit, which will follow. So now I'm gonna position these, check where the cabling has to go. Probably the front one will have to go through the same grommet as everything else, and the dash cam simply goes through the dash, probably in the A pillar over there. That's the A pillar on the side, and I will install it over here, so the cable will go there. Since everything is already open, it's gonna be also really quick to do. So yeah, so that's about it. Things are moving fast right now. Doing the connection is easy, is quick, because I'm really used to it. And so now I'm gonna open up the cameras and I'll show you them. So guys, these cameras are really cheap. I bought them on Amazon. They're called Autovox Cam 1, and they are really tiny. You can see how tiny this thing is. This is my thumb, just so that you know, and it mounts right onto the license plate, so that you know it's very quick and easy to install. It comes with this connector. This one has a specific connector, 4-pin connector, that is, I think, proprietary. It's not something that you usually find in other cameras. And they also have these LEDs on the side. Now, I don't know how effective or how good these are, but the reviews were good. And also there is this little sensor here that checks how much light there is, so that the LEDs are off during the day, or supposedly so. So there is a whole bunch of crap here, and this is the actual wiring. So you have the video connector that will go behind the head unit, and all this cable that we need to put through. Yeah, and this is the main camera. So the main camera cable goes in the front. Now I'll show you how to install. I have to install also the license plate. In terms of cabling, this is all very simple. This is the 4-pin connector, goes into here, tuck, and then you have basically the video connection as well as the power source. And it's as simple as obviously connecting the positive and the negative cable. So the cameras, I haven't decided if I want to use them in the fuse box there, but I think I will do that. Yeah, I think I will connect them to the fuse box there, connect them together so that they use only one slot of the fuse box. There is no point. They use very little power, so there is no point in having one slot each. So I'm gonna install now the driving license, and then I'll show you how to connect that. Alright, let me show you what I have here. This is a universal license plate mount. I have to mount the plate here, and this is not a Canadian standard in terms of distance of the holes, so you need something like this to be able to actually mount the plate on the bumper. If you see here, the holes on the bumper are different from the holes of the actual plate, so we have to put this one on first. So let me open it up. I hope this works. I bought another one before that didn't work, but this one seems to have more options in terms of distance of the holes, so I hope this is gonna work. Yeah, unfortunately I think this one doesn't work either, which is a bummer, because you can see there isn't really usable holes. Actually, no, I might be wrong. I think I can use these two and have them in there, mounted in there, so I think I'm gonna do just that. Now, another thing you need to consider is that these are probably a metric screw, so you need some metric screws in order to attach the license holder onto the actual bumper, so I need to figure out something there. So I had previously bought this ultimate kit in Canadian Tire that has metric as well as normal standard screws, so hopefully one of these will fit into the bumper, and then I can mount the license plate. So it turns out I could easily put the license holder with using the top using the top holes. It is tight, but it's great. It works just fine. So this one has solved the problems. These screws that I'm using are metric. I'm not sure. I think they will be an M6 or an M8. I need to double check. And they use this star pin, which is not a common Allen key, so that they cannot really steal it. I'm not really worried that they steal the license plate, to be honest, or especially the holder, but there is a snug fit here, so this should be good enough. Now we need to put the frame here and then the camera behind it. Alright, so the license plate holder is mounted. Now this one will go like this in these 4 holes, and then we can put basically our camera just behind this, and it will go like that. So that should be straightforward. So I'm just gonna do that. And obviously I will have to redo it once I get the license plate, but for now this is just to illustrate the point, and that works just fine. And this one also has a little bracket, as you can see, so that you can point it straight or a different position. And the cable, I could make a hole just right here so that is not in the way, or I can probably just pass it from the back here in the grid and go inside the van. I haven't really figured that out yet, so for now I'm just gonna leave it like this. But yeah, I think I can use, there is a hole in there that I can use, probably access that from behind the bumper, but I'll need to remove the platform that is covering the steering here. I will have to remove the bash plate to access that, so I'm not too sure yet what I want to do. So for now I'm just gonna leave it sort of hanging like this, and I'm just gonna proceed with the inside. I just wanted to make sure that you know, this universal license plate worked, so that, and check that the camera worked too, in terms of mounting, which seems to be correct. And having a camera mounted on this, it's handy to have this sort of theft proof or whatever screws, just because, you know, you don't want somebody with just a simple screwdriver come in and take the cameras. Hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to a friend of mine, and it basically lost his front and rear camera. Then it was just a simple Phillips screwdriver, so they could easily take it away. This one at least adds a little bit of trickiness to it. I'm sure they can still steal it, but probably not as easily. And this seems pretty solid and pretty stable, so I think this is good for now. And I'll proceed with the inside. Alright, I couldn't install the camera in the back because I don't have a plate frame, so I could only install the support for the plate. So not even too happy that this thing moves. I might need to do something about that, but it's not too bad anyway. So now what I'm gonna do next is actually take care of the head unit finally, since I have pretty much all the stuff I need. The wires need to just be passed through, and I want to make sure that I have all the connection for this guy here before I start closing up the dash, and that should pretty much set us in a finishing spot. So now there is a lot of things here, a lot of cables. As you can see, the nice thing is that this thing also has USB chargers and a lot of different things. And this is the main unit, and there we go. This is the unit. So it's very cool. There is all the buttons here like a real one. There is a USB port here, a micro USB card. There's the mic here and the auxiliary, and it's really light. I can't believe how light this is. And then there is a make sure there is a protection on the screen or something. Let me put this on the bottom. And then there are all the connections here. So here you can see there is the mic, there is the power, which I'm not sure this is gonna work with that. So for the power I'll probably need an adapter, because that's the wiring I have, this one, and it needs to go here, so I need an adapter. I need to see in Canadian Tire if I can find it, or if it comes with it. Oh, there is this one. So this one goes in there like this, and then I need to connect all these cables to that one. So I hope that I can find an interface so that I don't have to cut the wires here. I need to go check somewhere in Canadian Tire or something, and then there is all these cables that needs to be connected. So once you have the interface, it's much simpler because they in theory are labeled like these ones, and so it should be easier. You can see there is a USB-A here in the back. I don't know what you want that for. And the other stuff is all standard. There is a GPS receiver in this thing, and there is a Wi-Fi connector too, a Wi-Fi receiver. So these things are all here. So that's why it's important now to plug this one, plug all these cables, and make sure that everything can go through the dash all the way up. Right now the sun is right in front of us, so there's gonna be a lot of glare. But what I'm gonna do next is plug all this stuff into the radio, into the head unit, and then plug everything into the dash and see where we get. Alright guys, let me show you here what's happening. So the cabling here, the wiring of the radios is okay. That's already a good thing. And I have cleaned up a little bit the wiring here so that everything that is related to the head unit is connected and is nice and tidy. I'm putting everything back in because right now I have a problem, which is this connector here requires an adapter in order for me to connect it to these wires behind the head unit, and I don't have this adapter. Canadian Tire here didn't have it, so I cannot actually connect the stereo right now. The other thing is that these brackets that came out with the head unit were too long and they were hitting this ledge here, so I had to cut them down with the grinder, and this is how now it works. So you can see it fits in there pretty well, and I can screw it without any problem. And when I put the cover on, it meshes pretty good as well. There might be a little bit of space in there, but I think it's gonna be fine. So right now it's getting late again. I have to clean up all this stuff here and clean up the van, but I think most of the things that needs to go in here are actually positioned, and the only thing that is left to do is bring the battery cable in the back, the bigger one, and then start connecting all the stuff that needs to go in the back. So the big cable, the battery cable is there. I think I'm gonna just pass it through right now, and then I'm gonna bring it all the way to the back. I will not put the seats just yet because I need to pass the cables probably under the carpet, because I need to make channels probably to pass the cable through the insulation that is on the floor, and then I think that should be it. So I think probably another day will be what I need to make the cabinets for the bed and the other side, and I'll complete the wiring. I'm gonna have to put the roof rack as well and start seeing how to connect all the lights. But with that grommet installed today, it's really easy to pass the cables through, and same thing inside the glove box. So every connection that we need to do now, it's really simple to do. And I'm not gonna close any panel here. I'm gonna still leave everything open or semi-open so that I can pass all the other cables that I need to pass. And I'm sure that if I close now I will forget that I had to do something else, and then I will have to reopen it. So for now, that's all I have for you, and I'll see you in the next episode when wiring the rest of the electrical. See ya.